He's thought about it. He's smart.
And I just...
This is going to be good.
No, Casey, but when I'm in that room, like, they're so... The way Jesse, like, approaches seems so believable. Like, what he says, like, they were basically...
Just bogus. Dude comes back in. I'm standing there. And they go, do you have a Denise your Aunt Denise or something like that? I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're all laughing. I'm like, no, I don't have an Aunt Denise. So somebody, like, they're like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. They're like, it took probably like an hour, 45 minutes to get whatever they had to do to get me back up to the thing. They're like, you're getting a ticket for disorderly conduct. I go, for what? I go, what happened to fucking public intoxication? She goes, oh, well, this is what it is. I go, you brought me to jail for public intoxication, and I'm getting a ticket for disorderly conduct? I go, I don't think so. I go, I'm not signing this, because this is saying, it goes, Jesse Goddard went into the ballroom, da-da-da-da, caused a ruckus, swore epithets at the said officer, and then decided that he didn't want to leave, da-da-da-da-da, and he was arrested, da-da-da. I go, there's nothing in here that says I got brought to jail for being drunk in public. Where is that? She's like, you didn't get brought to jail. I go, you announced that as old boy, linebacker from fucking high school, tackled my ass to the ground. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's what you announced to the world.
Yeah.
She like straight side rolled and jumped up, you know, and like because she just tried overcompensating because she must have thought I was going to tense up.
Yeah.
And like I said, like when she grabbed onto my arm, I just went limp, and she like did a side roll, looked like a fucking douchebag cop, and stood back up and like was just humiliated and was like, fuck this dude, we're going to take him to jail. Old boy tackles my ass. So I'm sitting there in front of this guy, and it's a $300 ticket or I can't leave. I'm like, wow. All right. So I pay the ticket, do all the fingerprints, and my boys are outside. They had to go to the bank, get the money. I paid them, and I leave. And then I have a court date. I'm like, wow, okay. All right, whatever. I find out from my buddy, when they said Aunt Denise or whatever, it was Aunt Jane's mom called because he called something else, and I could have delayed it again. I'm just like, no. I told the judge, I'm like, I'm here now, flying back home in 2 days. I don't need to deal with that, you know,
right.
And I'm just like, this is so bogus. I have this security guard sitting up there thinking he's just the shit. He's like, I don't recall. Oh, but I do remember you said this. Then the next guy, the backup police officer, knew everything that I said, but his little partner that was closer to him, he didn't remember anything. I go, so you're telling me you remember everything that I said, but she was actually closer to you in distance of hearing range, voice range, and you don't remember anything that she said. I go, when I said this, did she not say this? And I read off a line that I wrote down. He goes, I don't recall. I go, did I say da-da-da-da-da-da? You might have. Did she say this after? No. Da-da-da-da-da-da. She just say this? No.
He's just trying to
cops
cover
are supposed to also have like a voice recorder on their belt. And I go, can we bring that in? But because it's a misdemeanor, they don't have to bring that. Because it's also, like, it'll prove my case even more.
Yeah.
Like, all the things that would, like, hinder their case, they didn't have to bring. Like, all these, like, contributed attributes. I go, did I go to jail for being drunk in public? No. It's because you did this. I'm like, wow. Then why'd you have to change the ticket? Well, it's just such bullshit. You know, after the court thing, he's like, yeah, I'll have to do it, da-da-da-da-da. I get a hearing after, like, right before I leave, and all my $300 back. I'm like, screw you. My buddy's like saw her in like at Bennigan's and was like, come on. Like, because it's such a small town, and like she just, like people just think that what they say. And I was even like being like, just her as like a whole, she's gone to court before for like doing the same kind of shit.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's like, I'm like, and I tried making that a point. I go, how many times have you gone to court and like somebody contested like your word? Like how many times has that happened? But they don't have to say that either. And she's like just getting more and more irate on there. And I'm just like, you treated me like shit because you thought I needed to just bow down and do what you wanted me to do because you had a power trip. And it's just like, come on, like with the one person that's like, I pay taxes too. Like, you know, you should like, you know, serve and protect, not sit here and try and discriminate just because you think you know anything. You know, but instead like they just think whatever they think. I mean, I'm not saying all cops are bad by any means, but it's reoccurring in like certain cops. It's just like blows me away that like nothing happens to them. Huh?
Did you say you got the money back?
Yeah, because like I hosed all of them. Like they're trying to sit there and tell me all that